Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. I don't think I've done a reading for you before, so I just like to explain real quick. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. And I try to describe the picture the best that I can. They never waste a message. They don't waste their energy. So whatever they say or show, there's a reason for it. So if it doesn't make any sense now, just keep it in mind and you'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and go, oh, I know what he's talking about. They don't give me all the details because the details are none of my business. So they just give me enough. So hopefully you understand what they're talking about. You'd think I'd remember my spiel by now. Anyway, this is not an exact science. We communicate the best way we can. So sometimes you got to think outside the box a little bit. Just hopefully it's close enough that you understand. I try not to be too vague, but this is their show. It's all up to them. They know what we need to hear, not what we want to hear. So it's their ball game. And he's actually slugging a ball out of the park, standing at home plate. So I think that's for me. I hit it out of the ballpark. Evidently, I said what I needed to say. Okay, let's see what Greg's got to say. He comes in and he's humming. He's humming. Is he humming a certain tune, or is he just aimlessly humming? It's more like aimlessly humming. It's more like So I don't know if he did that a lot when he was just kind of meandering around. It would kind of an annoying little hum if you had to listen to it very long or very often. Why he's making me like want to lean. Why am I leaning? Okay, he says you can be happy without him. You can be. You're looking in the past. You're holding on to the past. He says you need to turn around and look forward. And then he shows himself walking right beside you now. Even though you may not realize he's right there, but he's still walking right beside you. He said he will be with you every step of the way to help you move forward. But he shows you, you keep turning your head back. You keep looking back behind you. And it's not that you are looking at him, because I don't think you realize he's there, but you keep looking at your past. You keep looking at the what ifs and the whys and it's like you're pulling a very heavy burden, and you can't hardly move forward because it's so weighing on you so heavy that it's like like you're tied to a big rock behind you. So he's literally trying to grab you and turn you around by the shoulders and make you see forward. And then when he does that, he still shows he's still walking right beside you, and he's on your left side. So sometimes, I never know how other people are going to feel it, but sometimes you know how you feel like when somebody walks into the room, but you don't know they're in the room, but you feel it. Sometimes you kind of feel, just feel his presence. He's not coming through to you very strong because he's afraid it will scare you. He's afraid that you won't understand what that energy is. He's afraid it'll spook you. But you have this little inkling that he's right there sometimes. And then he shows himself, he steps back. So he's not right there that close every second because he steps back. So he gives you room to breathe. He says sometimes at night you hear, and I don't know if he's talking about in your sleep. I think he's talking about, sometimes when you just stare at the TV and you're really kind of zoned out, or maybe you're just almost asleep and you're in that kind of floaty stage. It's actually a meditative stage, kind of. That you hear the humming, but you also hear a lullaby. It's like a very soft, very, very soft lullaby. I can't tell what the lullaby is, but it's kind of like one of those lullaby and good night. Da, 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 da. You do not want me to sing. You'll click off of this video fast if I do. I don't think it's that exact one, but it's kind of like this little lullaby tune kind of floats through your head. And we don't always hear with just these ears. We actually have the ears up here. I'm going to have to write that down because I always forget what it's called. I want to call them psychedelic ears. They're not psychedelic ears. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway. So he's sending you that little lullaby to kind of sing you to sleep, kind of lull you to sleep, try to relax you and calm you. So know that that is sent with love. And when you actually realize that that's going on, thank him, validate him, let him know that you know that it's there. Thank him, tell him you love him, ask him to bring you more. If you want more, it's totally up to you. So he's shown him that he's with 3 females. 2 of them are older, elderly, would be more like a mother, grandmother type figure to him. Doesn't have to be his blood relation, it could be yours too. He's showing one's very, very pronounced, very much stronger. Little bit heavy. 70s, could be older. I suck at ages. A little bit plump. Feels more like a grandmother type figure. So, but I don't know if it's his grandmother, your grandmother, or if he's just referring to her as grandmother. That's the word he's using. Not granny, not grandma. She feels very soft and loving, but very strong. If that helps any. And she just, it's hard to describe grandmas because they all have white hair and glasses, and they all kind of look the same in a way. The other lady, I'm not feeling the relationship, but she's more stern. She's skinny. She's got a dark, crisp, business-like dress on, dark hair. Now I see olive oil, so I don't know if her name could be Olive. I don't know if it's just because she's so slim. Maybe somebody said she looked like olive oil. But he wants you to know that these 2 older women are with him, and she's older too. And then there's one kneeling down on the ground. She's like kneeling, like tying her shoe. Okay, I'm not sure what she's doing. So I'm not sure who these 3 women are, and I really can't see the 3rd one and why she's got her head down and not making herself known. But he wanted you to know they were there. He allowed them to step forward. I don't know that I can give you any more information about them because it's up to them to step forward. And it's his show. He loves your hair. And I don't creep anybody's Facebook page, but I don't, but maybe I need more coffee. I don't know what your hair looks like, but it's like he's brushing your hair back, like over, well, he's doing it over the right ear. It may not make any difference which side. You should feel this once in a while. And like I said, I don't know how you will feel the energy because everybody feels it different. But you could actually, like, I can feel a fly if it lands on top of my spiky stuff. You know, you can just feel that little wiggle. So it could just feel as slight as that. You could get really warm on this side. When Bob gets real close, my Bob, he's up there. When he gets really close on this side, my ear will turn bright red and burn, like it's going to burn off. And so it make it really warm there. You could actually feel your hair move. You could have tingles. It could feel like a bug crawling. I just don't know how you're going to receive it, but it should be something along that line. And he's showing that he leans down and he whispers, "I love you," in your right ear. That doesn't always come through clear. Sometimes it'll be just muttering. Sometimes it'll be, you'll hear like whispering. Sometimes you might hear one of the words, or it could be kind of a low-pitched shrieking noise. But it will only be in one ear at a time. So if it's both ears, it's like my tinnitus, that's in both ears. So when he does that, acknowledge him, validate him, tell him you love him, and ask him for more if you want more. He's talking about the moon, but he's not showing me the full moon. He's showing me the crescent moon. Just pretty much not a fat crescent moon, but pretty skinny crescent moon. Must be right before it starts going back the other way. I don't know why he's showing that. I don't know if you go out and look at the moon and you think of him, and I promise you 1,000%, he can hear you, he can see you. You just can't hear him, probably. So talk to him. Talk to him all you want. I feel like he wanted me to say that when he showed me the moon. So if you're out there talking to the moon and looking at the moon and talking to him, know that he hears you. I used to ask my medium friend, "So does Bob hear me when I'm rattling on?" She goes, "Yeah," until you do it too much, and then he kind of goes, "Beep." But he did that in real life too. They hear you. Oh, what he wouldn't give for another day with you. Just one more day. Just one more hour. To apologize and make things right. To express what I really should have expressed when I was here that I did not do. And he goes, "That's a macho thing. That's a man thing." Kind of almost like he wanted to beat his chest like a gorilla. "That's a macho thing." Wait a minute, there's a song So the song he was referring to was "One More Day" by Diamond Rio. And so I asked Alexa to bring it up, make sure I had the right artist, and my legs just totally got covered in goosebumps. So that was validation. That's the song that he wanted. So go to YouTube or whatever you go to and pull that song up because that's a song from him to you. My guys love music. He says half the time, half of the time, half of the time that I should have had, half of the time that I should have had, but it was my time. But it was half of the time that I wanted. I only got half of the time that I wanted to be here. What I've been taught is before we come here, we decide whether we have an exit point. It's already predetermined, an exit point. It could be when you're 1 day old. It could be when you're 100 years old. It can waver a little bit depending on what's going on around you or what's going on with people around you or what they're going to learn from when you leave. But that area is when we're supposed to leave. I don't know if it ever actually changes from, let's say, 40 to 100. That's way out of the wiggle room. I don't know if that's possible. Nobody's ever told me that it's ever changed. It's ever shifted, but this was his time frame. He felt like you needed to know that it wasn't because of anything anybody did or didn't do, or don't yell at God, because that's just the way it works. And I love you. Until my last breath, I loved you. But now I want you to move. And he's kind of showing you walking forward, kind of like, I can't do it. Kind of like that. He's doing it like that. Now I want you to step forward. Because that's what I would want for you. It's in your best interest. It's in the plan. It's in the plan. Everything will be all right. It's supposed to be this way. Okay, I guess he's just trying to give you some reassurance about there's a reason for this. And my watch just said, and it just said, you need to get moving. And anything that happens to me during a reading is meant for whoever I'm reading for. So it said, time to get moving. And of course, now it's saying I'm inactive almost an hour. I need to do some exercise. Yeah. So the watch said it's time to get moving. Fit perfectly, and it just popped up. Fit perfectly in with what he was saying. So that's a validation. And he says no regrets. No regrets on your end. He doesn't want you to have any regrets because there should not be any. It is what it is. It was what it was. I started to say something, but he didn't. Oh, he already said he liked your hair, but now he's saying something about the color of your hair. It's perfect. But you're perfect. Everybody's perfect in their own way. Feel like you need to hear that. Asking for some kind of validation. He said it's hard for you to think right now. Sometimes you're having a hard time just thinking about not crap. I can get this all right. Thinking about daily tasks that you need to do, or chores you need to do, or things that should be on your list. You're having trouble thinking about the things that need to be done. He says that cloud will clear. And I asked him about grandkids. He said 2. They're young. They're beautiful. He's showing what I believe is a girl, but got really curly hair. Really, really wavy, curly hair. That talks to him. Almost looks like Shirley Temple hair. Shirley Temple hair. Let me talk. Ah! No, now something popped up in front of me. Stop it. And he's showing her real little. Fairly little. I know, I'm sounding pretty vague. I don't like being vague. But she holds her hand up, so you might see this young girl, and she's holding her hand up and holding his hand and walking along. So if you see whoever this young child is, and she looks like she's holding somebody's hand, but there's nothing there, she is, because all small, as far as I know, all small children, at least most of them I've run into, they all have an imaginary friend, supposedly imaginary friend. They're not imaginary. They can see them, they can hear them. So can animals, because they haven't been told that it's not real. So it's nothing to them. So she is interacting with him. I'm not sure. This is if there's a boy that has hair like that, then it's the boy. I keep feeling like it's not a girl, but it looks like a girl. So I'm not sure. Anyway. So anyway, until they get to be about 9 or 10, and then they start shutting it off. So even if the child is older now, know that before, I don't know, he's just not being real clear, and I can't make it clear if he's not making it clear. It's his deal. It's up to him. He says, honor thy father and mother. I don't know why he said that. He's talking about a horrific accident. I have asked them not to show me how they passed, because I've seen so many that were just so bad that I don't want to see them anymore. So I asked them to not do that to me. He brought that up. So he wants you to invite him into the house. For some reason, he feels like maybe he wouldn't be welcome, or maybe because you wouldn't believe it, or maybe you would poo-poo it, or maybe it would scare you, or you need to invite him in, tell him he's welcome, if that's what you want. Because it's almost like he's not really doing, a lot of times they'll do things in the house and people get scared, and it's just grandma, grandpa, or somebody like that. That's what I find a whole lot of the time. But he says he wants you to welcome him in, that he's afraid for some reason that he's not welcome. So I don't know if he left on bad terms, or why he would feel like he wouldn't be welcome. But that's up to you two. I do love you. You were the star of my show, even though I didn't let you know that enough. And he's actually showing a star, but it looks like a cardboard star, or something like you would stick on a wall, not like a star in the sky, which doesn't really make any difference, but You might have something like that in your house somewhere. Know that when you see just a cutout star, just like I said, like a cardboard star, and you see that on Facebook, in a movie on somebody's wall, you see it when you're walking through Walmart and you happen to feel your head turn and you just see this star. Know that that's another sign from him, so validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more if you want more. And you'll start noticing it could be on a billboard. You never know. That's just them stopping in to say, hey, I'm still here, I love you, letting you know. Peace I leave with you. Peace, peace I leave with you. I think that's something to say in the Catholic Church. I don't know if that has anything to do with the church, but that's the way he's saying it. Peace I leave with you, peace I leave unto you. He is trying to bring you peace. He shows how he gives this same young child a kiss on the head. He bends down and gives that child a kiss on the head. I still feel like it's a male child, though. So know that he is checking in on the grandkids just like he's checking in on you. And he's showing again, he's walking beside you. He's walking beside you like you're walking down a road outside and he's right beside you. You can try this. I do it all the time. I don't know if you'll feel it or not. And he's always showing he's on your left side, which may not make any difference. But like I do it even in my car, of course, I have to do it on the right side. But anyway, hold your left hand out and just relax it. And if you go for a walk, especially, just hold it out, relax it, and ask him to hold your hand. And you should feel a warmth or a pressure, just like a little bubble sitting there. Sometimes it feels like I actually feel them holding my hand. Just depends on how you will receive the energy or how accepting you are of it. So if you go for a walk, just hold your hand out and say, hold my hand as I'm walking. And you should feel, at least in here. Okay, my dear, he's leaving. He says, happy birthday. I'm not sure if he's talking to you or somebody close to you that either just had a birthday or just getting ready to have a birthday. Peace. Peace I leave with you. So the next time you're getting a little anxious and you really need some peace, call on him. Because he's all about this peace and the lullaby and bringing calm. And so just call on him. And then just allow him to. You have to ask and you have to allow. They cannot override your free will choice. You can block it out, and that's not their fault. Okay, my dear, he's leaving. Thank you for allowing me to be his voice. See you later. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. See you later.